Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. There has been one topic that just refuses to go away whenever people start talking about the future of Caitlin Clark, and that's the constant speculation about whether another franchise could somehow convince the Indiana Fever to let her go. Among all the teams that keep popping up in these conversations, one name shows up more than any other: the New York Liberty. And honestly, the Liberty haven't exactly been subtle about how much they admire Caitlin Clark. They've made it pretty obvious over the past couple of years that they love everything she brings to the game. We've seen comments from Sandy Brondello. We've seen Jonquel Jones speak highly of Caitlin Clark. We've watched Brianna Sturt and Sabrina Ionescu show her respect every chance they get. And every interaction seems to fuel even more speculation. Whether it's All-Star Weekend, social media, or interviews, people keep connecting those dots. Some fans think it's harmless admiration. Others believe it's quiet recruiting. Whatever the case may be, the Liberty haven't exactly hidden how highly they value Caitlin Clark as a player. Now, here's where things get interesting. A lot of people keep saying the Indiana Fever couldn't possibly afford Jonquel Jones if a move was ever discussed. They're probably right. Jonquel Jones is still one of the elite bigs in the WNBA, and finding room for that kind of talent isn't easy. But at the same time, when you start looking at hypothetical trade scenarios, the Liberty are one of the very few teams that could actually put together a package that at least starts a serious conversation. Do I think Caitlin Clark is getting traded? Hell no, I really don't. In fact, I'd say the chances are extremely small. The Indiana Fever didn't draft Caitlin Clark just to flip her a couple of seasons later. She became the face of the franchise the second her name was called on draft night. She transformed ticket sales, television ratings, merchandise, and national attention almost overnight. That's not the kind of player organizations willingly give away. The only realistic path to something like this would be Caitlin Clark herself demanding a trade. And if we're being honest, there hasn't been anything to suggest that's where this is headed. She has continued talking about building something in Indiana. And despite all the criticism surrounding the franchise, she still appears committed to making it work. So unless something completely falls apart behind the scenes, this remains more fantasy than reality. Still, let's entertain the conversation, because that's what everyone keeps doing. If Indiana ever reached a point where they had to consider offers, the Liberty probably have one of the strongest collections of assets in the league. Imagine receiving Sito Sabali, adding Jonquel Jones on another season at a below-market contract, maintaining control of your own draft picks, and still having flexibility moving forward. That's not some garbage offer thrown together for clicks. That's an actual basketball package that would at least force executives to sit down and think. Again, I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying if you compare every possible destination, New York has one of the few packages that doesn't immediately get laughed off the table. The funny thing is, this isn't even the first time we've watched rival teams openly admire Caitlin Clark. Throughout All-Star Weekend, players from different organizations were constantly around her. Remember Sophie Cunningham? She spent practically the entire All-Star Weekend trying to convince Caitlin to consider Phoenix someday. Fans noticed it immediately. Cameras caught the conversations, social media exploded with theories. Then you've got Matt Ishbia. During an incredibly successful All-Star Weekend, he posted pictures featuring Caitlin Clark in his photo dump, and fans immediately started asking questions. Was it just appreciation? Was it recruiting? Was it both? Nobody knows for sure, but one thing is obvious. Matt Ishbia has never acted like he'd turn down the opportunity to bring Caitlin Clark into his organization if he ever had the chance. That's the reality of superstar athletes. Every franchise wants them, and why wouldn't they? Caitlin Clark isn't just another great player. She's become one of the biggest attractions in professional basketball. Every arena she visits fills up. Television audiences spike, merchandise flies off the shelves, sponsors line up. She's the kind of player that changes an entire business overnight. So of course executives around the league are going to dream about adding her. The Liberty understand that just as well as anybody. But admiration doesn't automatically create opportunity. Caitlin Clark is only 24 years old. If everything goes according to plan, she's got another decade of elite basketball ahead of her. 10 years is a long damn time. Careers change, coaches change, front offices change, teammates come and go. Situations that seem impossible today can suddenly become realistic years later. Right now, though, Indiana still controls its own future. The biggest question isn't whether another team wants Caitlin Clark. We already know they do. The real question is whether the Fever can build an environment that convinces her she never has to consider leaving. That's where the pressure shifts directly onto the organization. Can they consistently compete for championships? Can they surround her with enough talent? Can they develop an offensive system that actually maximizes her strengths? Can they avoid forcing her into stretches where she's playing isolation basketball instead of running the fast-paced offense that made her one of the most exciting players in the world? Those are the questions that matter, because if Indiana gets those answers right, none of these trade rumors mean a damn thing. If they get those answers wrong year after year, eventually every superstar starts wondering what else is out there. That's simply how professional sports work. Another interesting situation involves Stephanie White. So far, there have been encouraging signs. The last several games have looked significantly better than some of the rough stretches earlier in the season. The ball movement has improved, Caitlin Clark has looked more comfortable, the chemistry appears to be growing. But long-term, that's still something people are watching closely. Can Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White build a relationship that lasts for years? Can the offense continue evolving? Can everyone stay on the same page once expectations continue rising? Those questions haven't been fully answered yet. It's also impossible to ignore the salary cap situation. The WNBA salary structure creates difficult decisions for every contender. Teams constantly have to balance contracts, veteran stars, young talent, draft picks, and future flexibility. That means today's roster might not resemble tomorrow's roster at all. Every championship team eventually faces painful financial decisions. That's another reason why speculation never disappears. Even so, I still believe the odds heavily favor Caitlin Clark staying exactly where she is. For her to seriously ask out, something would have to go catastrophically wrong. We're talking about a complete collapse. Maybe the Fever gets swept out of the playoffs. Maybe internal relationships completely fall apart. Maybe management makes several disastrous decisions in a row. Short of something that extreme, it's difficult to picture Caitlin Clark walking into the front office and demanding out. Right now, that's simply not the most likely outcome, but that doesn't mean rival teams from paying attention. Every general manager in the league is watching. Every coach is watching. Every owner is watching. If there is even the smallest crack in Indiana's foundation, teams will immediately start making calls. That's just business. And among all of those potential suitors, the Liberty probably remain near the top of the list. A package built around Sito Sabali, Jonquel Jones, Lexi Hull in a direct swap, multiple first-round selections, continued roster flexibility, and even keeping Han Hu under contract gives New York one of the strongest hypothetical offers anyone could realistically assemble. Does that mean the trade happens? Absolutely not. Does it mean the Liberties stop dreaming about Caitlin Clark wearing their uniform someday? Probably not either. For now, Indiana still holds the keys. The Fever drafted one of the biggest stars the league has ever seen, and the responsibility now falls entirely on the organization to prove she's in the right place. If they build a winner, this conversation dies. If they continue making mistakes, these rumors will never disappear, because every contender in the WNBA would love the chance to add Caitlin Clark. Only time will tell how this story unfolds, but one thing is certain. The speculation isn't going away anytime soon. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you believe Caitlin Clark will spend her entire career with the Indiana Fever, or could another team like the New York Liberty eventually make a blockbuster move years from now? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another update. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.